Morning, all. Here's some coffee. I'm awake. Oh my God. Okay. So I'm trying to watch all these Ronald Colman movies that I missed. And there's a lot of them. So I watched two of them last night, but one of them was 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And then I watched the second one, and then I had to go to sleep because I'm not a robot. I do have a pacemaker, so I have robot tendencies, but that doesn't mean I don't sleep. That's not true. I don't have robot tendencies, but or do I? I don't know. So both of the films that I watched, I'm watching sort of in the order that we're programming them because I believe we're showing them actually in chronological order. So that's fantastic. So these were both directed by Henry King. The first one was 1923's The White Sister, and this was the first film that really launched Ronald Colman as like a mega star and a like a hot babe that everyone can swoon over. The story co-stars Lillian Gish. Lillian Gish is in love with Ronald Colman. However, her father, who is a prince, forces her to marry somebody else. When that count dies, she finds out that her older sister, or that count dies, then her father dies. So the older sister burns a will. She's they're half sisters. She burns a will, making it so that Lillian Gish gets none of the money because she's mad because she also loved Ronald Colman. I mean, everyone loves Ronald Colman. So then her father-in-law has her marriage basically annulled so that she has no money from her family and no money from this marriage, and she's just screwed over. But eventually, like someone very nice takes her in, and eventually she re-meets Ronald Colman. So that's the first sort of third of the film, all of that going on. Ronald Colman, however, is about to go to Africa, and she's going to wait for him forever. But, and this is one of the few parts of the film where you're like, oh, this didn't age well. They have like evil Arabs come and kill the company that he's with, and she finds this out without realizing that he's not actually dead, because this is the kind of story where, obviously no one is what they seem. So she's not actually dead. He's not actually dead, but she decides to go into a convent, only for him to find her and her to go, ah! And then the rest of the film is sort of Ronald Colman's character coming to terms with the fact that a marriage to the church is just like a marriage to anything else. There's some moments where he's like, damn the church, that makes you see why like silent cinema and the early, pre-codes were starting to piss off the church. Catholic Legion of Decency, etc. But, I mean, so spoiler alert, she does decide to stay with the church because she's made a commitment, and then something unfortunate happens, and then she asks to keep the commitment, and I won't spoil that. But about two-thirds, almost towards the end of the film, right when I knew that everything was going to go to shit, I literally out loud yelled, "This is a sad movie," and I was really pissed because it was one of those movies that like maybe it was going to be okay and they'd get through all of this and be together. No. But it's beautifully made. It's one of those beautiful epic films from the silent era from the 20s that are so great. Around this era, he also made two films with Constant Talmadge, one called Her Night of Romance and one called Her Sister from Paris. I recommend both those films if you can track them down. I think Kino maybe released them on DVD a few years back, so look for those. The second film I watched today was also Henry King. This was 1926's The Winning of Barbara Worth. So, The White Sister was also made with Clark Gable in 1933, and you can get both versions of that. I forgot to mention this. Both versions of that from Warner Archive. The Winning of Barbara Worth, I think you can also get from Warner Archive. I'm not sure. It's based on a novel, and it was specifically written for Ronald Colman and Vilma Banky. They had made several films together at this point. It has a really great scene with pie, and it was the sort of the main launching film for Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper was the boyfriend of writer Frances Marion's friend, and was suggested, and he changed his name to Gary Cooper and became the sort of other man in this movie. So it's a love triangle between Ronald Colman's character, Velma Blanky's character, and Gary Cooper's character. They are living in the desert in California. She has been orphaned and then lives with this man named Jefferson Worth, who wants to irrigate the desert. He hires Ronald Colman's company to come irrigate the desert, and obviously he's like from the city, so the Gary Cooper rough cowboy is like, nah. But Vilma's like, I love him, and then there's this really impressive flooding of the desert, and this is a beautiful silent film, just absolutely gorgeous. Tinting, the tinting in this print was beautiful. There's some moments, especially in the beginning, where Barbara is a child and she's crossing the desert. There's some shots that are so beautifully framed, and this is one so both films are great examples of different kinds of films from this era, and one is this a romantic epic, and the other is this just breathtaking Western. And they both made me wish that I saw them on the big screen. I love watching silent cinema on the big screen. There's no greater thrill than seeing a film like this on the big screen, especially if you get like live accompaniment. So these films are great. You can watch them on Watch TCM. I know that The White Sister is available from Warner Archive DVD. I'm not sure about The Winning of Barbara Worth. Both these films are fantastic. These were the only silent Ronald Colmans that we're showing this month. The rest of Ronald Colman, you get his honey voice. And if you haven't heard his voice, he is famous for probably having the greatest film voice of all time. So you should check out the rest of his films. I have 5 more Ronald Colman films to watch this weekend, plus 8 Hitchcock films. So we'll see if I get that done. I'm not going to sleep. I'm just going to watch Ronald Colman films. So you'll get some more videos from me. I might do the rest of the Ronald Colman films in one video. I'll let you know. So this was 1923's The White Sister and 1926's The Winning of Barbara Worth. Definitely check them out, and definitely check out Ronald Colman.